In this position in 1989, Grandmaster Vasily Malinin plays one of the most insane games I've ever seen. He sacrifices everything. This is Malinin's immortal game. Let's see what happens here. So in the game, his opponent thinks they have a tactic with knight takes d5, sacrificing the knight because after Malinin takes, their idea was rook takes b2, now grabbing the pawn and attacking the queen defended by the bishop. And it looks like it's white who's getting checkmated. But Malinin plays knight to e7 check, king to h8, and now there's one winning move in this position. Malinin plays queen takes h7, sacrificing the queen, because after the king takes, now we have rook takes h5, and the only legal move is blocking with the bishop, and the bishop was guarding the rook. And now we have rook takes h6, king steps over, and knight to f5 check, forcing king to g8. And now the rook on b2 is hanging, but we play an even better move, bishop to f6, now entombing the king and threatening rook to h8 checkmate. So black knows they're gonna lose the rook, but they lose it on the best terms with rook to c2 check, sacrificing the rook, because after the king takes, now there's queen takes a2. And in this position the material is equal and both kings are very weak. But there's a winning move here, bishop to b2 blocking, and this is still threatening rook to h8 checkmate. So the opponent goes queen to c4 check, bishop to c3, and now pawn to f6, closing down the diagonal and stopping rook to h8 checkmate. But now Malinin just keeps applying the pressure with knight to g5, jumping in with this final piece and now taking advantage of the pawn not being able to take the knight because of rook to h8 check. So the opponent goes rook to e8, now threatening rook takes e2, and that's going to lead to checkmate. But this attack is simply too slow. In this position, there's a mate in 5 for Malinin, and he finds it. He plays bishop to d5 check. This is sacrificing the bishop, forking the king and the queen, and the point of this move is that after the queen takes, now the queen is no longer pinning the bishop, and the bishop can move. And Malinin had in mind rook to h8 check, sacrificing the rook, because after the king takes, we have bishop takes f6, king steps over, knight to h6 check, and knight to h7. Checkmate.